Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler reviews, series reviews I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I have a whole day ahead of me. So hopefully this will help with that. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of it. Super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering out about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck, I'm wearing grody work clothes. That means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That's not the case in this particular instance. I've actually had this particular item for a few days now. I went over there. I was making my way around, doing some stuff. I went out to a comic book store, and when I was done, there was this little Indian marketplace next to the comic book store, and I always like to stop into those places. A lot of times you find some cool, interesting stuff, and I found a thing. So, what thing am I reviewing for you folks? What are we doing? Oh my god, it's boom! It's this! Yes! This is, since 1923, Hajoori, I'm going to go with. That looks like H-A-G, Hajoori, H-A-J-O-O-R-I. That's what I'm going with. Masala, Jeera, Kashmira. Those are all very Indian words. What is this? I don't know. Okay, ready to serve fruit juice based drink. Apna drink. Okay. Yeah, okay, so 22 grams of sugar in this tiny little thing. Damn. So yes, it's some sort of Indian juice beverage thing. I genuinely have nothing on this. So, I mean, let's get a thing for the thing. Can we get a thing for the thing? Something like that. I don't know, man. Let's give it a go. Sometimes Indian drinks are really fun. Sometimes they're not so fun. We're going to find out which one this one is. I actually still have it in my car. I reviewed this one a few days ago. Jeera, go watch that review, provided I have it posted up. Yeah, this has been in my car since then because this is one of the not fun ones. Oh no, this smells kind of like that did. I get the feeling like this is going to be another one I'm not that big on. So, like, the thing is, like, the masala aspect, it's, like, a thing that's, like, unique to India. At least I think it's just unique to India. And it's, like, basically they kind of, like, use, like, a spice blend to kind of, like, give their drinks a little something. It's interesting if you're not familiar with it, but let's give it a go. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, okay. I'll say this. I like this better than I like this. That's not saying a lot, though. This was really pretty repugnant for me. I did not like it. This, I don't care for that much, but, like, whereas that, there really wasn't much that I was willing to give it. With this, there's a few bright spots in between a whole lot of unusual. So, like, the whole thing is, and mind you, I do want to emphasize this right now. I fully acknowledge I am just Midwestern white dude, like, do. Okay, like, I try lots of new foods and stuff and everything because I like to do that stuff. And I think learning about other cultures is cool also. But I also fully, it's like, I'm not from India. Hell, even my forays into Indian cuisine have been somewhat limited, just, location-wise and stuff like that. But I do really like Indian food and stuff. I just want to kind of make it clear up front that it's like, I'm not trying to trash, anybody's culture or their type of beverage or anything like that. I'm just going off my experience with my Midwestern palate. Okay? I think that's fair. And my Midwestern palate is not into like the weird masala stuff that they do. It's just so weird because it to me it just tastes like I'm drinking a condiment. It's like drinking Worcestershire sauce or something like that. Which now, to be fair, I will admit I like Worcestershire sauce so much that when I was younger, I would go over there and like I would take the Worcestershire sauce cap, I would fill it up, and then I would go over there and I would do like a little Worcestershire shot every now and again. So I was a weird kid. And to be fair, it's like, in a small dose, this might be fine. But as just a drink, it's just so unusual. Because, like, the spicing, it's just, yeah, like, all my brain does is it goes to, like, why isn't this on food? But, outside of that, oh, yeah, man, it's just, especially that first hit, that's where it's really its strongest. Um, After like the masala aspect kind of dials back, again, you like, as I mentioned before, like there are a couple bright spots to it. Like there's little sort of fruity notes where it's like, okay. But as to what fruit exactly, genuinely couldn't tell you because it's just so mired in like the spice aspect that it's like it's genuinely kind of hard to, yeah. The thing is, I think for me personally, I'm not entirely against the idea of like the masala addition, but I think for me, I would just need it dialed back a lot. That's because I think that it could be cool, and like have some interesting contrasting flavors, but it's too much at the forefront of the entire experience, and it's like if you had that, but like if you had mostly like a nice fruity beverage, but then use just like a little bit of the spice to kind of give it a little something something, I think I'd be more down with it. But it's the opposite. It's kind of more the spice aspect with just a little fruitiness. It's just a little bit too much for me. Yeah. And to kind of describe it, again, think sort of like almost a Worcestershire sauce, almost like kind of savory taste, with sort of like a mild sour, almost borderline bitterness, and then the aftertaste is not good. That's when it's like really just kind of grinds into that spice flavor, whatever like kind of fruity, and maybe the fruit is kind of. Well, I can almost identify the fruit, but not quite. But it's the fruity aspect is there, but it is way underneath all the other stuff. It's really the only saving grace for me with this because it at least mitigates to a certain extent, like for me just the overly spiced flavor of it. Um, it's interesting, and I will give it that. Like I will say that I would rather try something that is interesting that I maybe am not that big a fan of versus something that I kind of like but is boring. So I'll give it that. Now, all that said, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yeah, no. No for me. I really, I wish I could get along with these better. I really do. Because, I like clearly there's an audience for it. Clearly there are people who like it. And it's one of those things where it's like, I wish I could be in that camp with you. I wish I could appreciate it. Maybe if I just had more exposure to it. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think this is one of those things that I could ever really grow to like exactly. It's just too off-putting in my head. Um, so yeah, for me, I wouldn't get it again. If I were recommending it though, it's one of those things where it's like, try it. If you run into it, and by the way, if you happen to have like, like a Indian marketplace near you, absolutely go in there, check out their stuff, because like you can find really cool snacks and like all kinds of stuff. I mean, especially if you actually know how to cook and stuff, they have all kinds of ingredients for stuff. That stuff I can't deal with, but I'll buy snacks and drinks and shit. Um, but if you do happen to run into it, I'm not going to tell you to not try it because it's interesting if nothing else. But I will say, I do think for most people who have what I'll regard as like a somewhat conventional Western palate, I don't know that this is really going to be something for you. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it is just my palate. Maybe it's just the way I personally take it in, which is why I'm not going to outright say, like, no, don't try it. But I will say, if it's one of those things where maybe you're hesitant on or whatever, yeah, it is a very unusual thing. And it's kind of one of those things I think you're either going to love it or hate it. So, just kind of move forward with a certain amount of caution. 5 things before I get out of here, because I'm so tired. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly Masala-tastic rest of your life, because, man, I'm sure in lots of instances it's wonderful, and I'm sure that plenty of people around the globe love and enjoy it. And we should all be so lucky. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you do, folks. Try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit. Like today, I got all this stuff I gotta do. All this stuff I gotta do. So much stuff to do. So I'm going out to a concert later on, and I gotta go over there and like get things in order because I should have gotten them in order days ago, but I procrastinated. But anyway, when we run into those situations in our lives where things are stressful and frustrating, what have you, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're going to try out some Masala, Jeera, Kashmira, yes. I think it's apple flavor. That looks like an apple. I'm going to go with apple. Maybe it was that. Okay. Whatever works. Maybe you're going to try it out. Maybe you're going to watch my video and you're going to be like, nah, man, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I never said I did, to be fair. At no point in any of my reviews have I gone over there in any serious context and claimed to be any type of expert or anything like that. I'm just a guy who tries stuff. And because I try stuff, people ask me how the stuff was. And eventually I started doing this because it was easier than doing written reviews. And now you know how the sampler platter got started. Anyway, I'm done now, so I'm going to go lay down for a little bit. Goodbye!